Hey, it's your boy Richard Fowler. As always, to give you the news and views that you can use. And listen, there's a movie coming out. It's pretty cool. You should go see it, especially if you read the play in high school like I did. And we're joined by one of the huge stars from the show, Corey Hawkins. He plays the character of Macduff. Welcome to the Fowler Show, Corey. How are you?
Good to be with you, man. How you doing?
So I got to tell you, prior to watching the movie, the last time I cracked open Macbeth, I might have been, I don't know, a sophomore, maybe a junior in high school. And so I guess my first question is for all those folks out there who remember reading it in high school, what is the difference from reading it to watching this amazing sort of redepiction of it with you and Denzel and this amazing cast?
Well, first of all, a lot of people aren't alone. I mean, in that Shakespeare isn't, it isn't the thing you're looking at and reading and listening to and watching every day. But I would say the beauty of this film is that, well, first of all, Denzel Washington is playing Macbeth. Frances McDormand is playing Lady Macbeth. And Joel Coen is directing them. Like, that's just first and foremost is one of the reasons why I wanted to be a part of this. And then also the ability to like reach as many people with this and give people the ownership that they deserve. Like, people, there's sometimes a disconnect with Shakespeare. And I think we all have more ownership of it than we sometimes think. So it's beautiful that we got to come together and put this, on film.
So talking about ownership of it and talking about sort of your ownership of it, I mean, you are somebody who's a DC native. Our show's based here in Washington, DC, even though we're an international show. You went to Duke Ellington High School, which is a selective enrollment school here in the nation's capital for performing arts. One of my best friends went there, actually. So tell me, how do you think sort of having that sort of selective enrollment high school experience prepared you to sort of play this character Macduff so well?
Well, here's the thing. At Duke Ellington, it was, I would say, we considered, the classics for us was something different. Like Shakespeare, of course, it's, the classics, but classics was also Hansberry and Baldwin or August Wilson, you know what I mean? So it was just about redefining our idea of what Shakespeare was and what the classics were in perspective, and that nothing is greater than or less than. And so that was the baseline. And then from there, it was just an appreciation of art, man. It's just an incredible, Duke Ellington was an incredible art school. And so it wasn't until I got to like Juilliard that I actually got to work on the play there. But yeah, man, I was exposed to it definitely, and exposed to Shakespeare at Duke Ellington, and that was a joy. And it's the beautiful part about it is, I saw people who looked like me doing the classics, because DC was Chocolate City, still is, I'm so it was just beautiful to see that and see the greats doing that,
So speaking about that, I think the last time we've sort of seen this sort of redepiction of Shakespeare that brought it into modern times was when Leonardo DiCaprio did, Romeo and Juliet. And I think this depiction of Macbeth with you and Denzel really is an opportunity for diverse audiences to get to see Shakespeare sort of done while the same Old English language done in a very new way. So talk to me about how did you guys begin to prepare, or how did you guys take that on? Because there's going to be audiences who are going to turn on their Apple TV, they're going to see Denzel, they're going to see you, they're going to remember you from Straight Out of Compton, they're like, I'm going to have to watch this movie. And then they're going to be abruptly met with Old English. And they might stay tuned.
They will stay tuned. I believe they will stay tuned. This movie from the jump, it's a ride, and Old English or not. And I say this, and I truly believe this because I say it a lot, but it's the same way you think about music, right? There's a lot of songs that I know that I don't know all the lyrics to, but I sing along to them, or I follow them, or I feel it. There's a lot of pieces of classical music that you might not necessarily vibe with, but you get it, you feel it. And that's the same thing with Shakespeare. again, is sort of a new level of ownership of the language. And it's a blessing that the reason I think people feel sometimes distance from it is because we don't really have access to it. And then I'm not just talking about like culture. I'm just saying like in general, we don't necessarily get the opportunity to, go pay $200 and see Shakespeare on Broadway. You know what I mean? It might not be people's first thing if you got $200 to go spend on a Broadway, or anywhere they're doing Shakespeare. And so the fact that we get to bring this now into the homes of people everywhere on Apple TV Plus, like it's really dope, to be able to see your favorite actors up there doing something different. It just continues to push the needle in what we can do. Because there is a young boy or girl who looks like me, who will see themselves up there and say, wait, maybe that is possible. Maybe that is for me. Maybe I can pick up that torch and carry it further, and it can become something more accessible. You know what I mean? But outside of that, it's just a fun thriller, man. Like it's got all the action, all of the, the shapings of just a great film. And at the same time, you're getting a cinematic masterpiece from the mind of Joel Coen.
So I hate to give part of the movie away for folks who haven't seen it yet, but I mean, at the end, you end up sort of killing. Spoiler alert, right? You end up killing Denzel Washington. I mean, which had to be, as any actor. I mean, I'm not even an actor, and I would be like, yeah, I don't know if I want to kill. I don't want to kill Denzel. So, so how did you prepare yourself for that moment of like, all right, so I'm going to take the knife, I'm going to cut his head off, or was it just acting?
Well, first of all, I killed Macbeth. I don't kill Denzel.
Fair enough.
Even though in my head, that's all I was thinking was, please don't be the one, man. I can see the headlines now, like accident on set. This dude, this idiot takes out this. No, man, it was a joy, man. Working with Denzel is just a pleasure. It's like, and we got to spend weeks rehearsing together, watching the sauce get made and just vibing and as the cast becoming a company. But that fight scene, that huge epic battle between me and him at the end of the film, we didn't do together until that day. So we have been working on other stuff together, but he's also busy because he's Macbeth. So he has to shoot all his other stuff. And so we didn't get a chance to actually, but I like to think I took him to task. I like to think, I went toe to toe with the master. But we had a lot.
You heard that here first. So you heard that here first, folks. There was no rehearsal before they shot the scene that could have been the end of Denzel, but it wasn't.
Yeah, I mean, well, that's also just the master himself. Like he's the kind of artist who, if you prepare, and then he comes in on the day and we beat through that fight in the same way you would beat through like a scene, an acting scene, and talked about the motivations. And there's this cool, the way he gets, I won't say it, but the way he actually, the thing that ultimately leads to his death in the film, is a take on who the character is, you know what I mean? How he actually ends up meeting his fate. And it was dope. It was just incredible. We had fun though. We had a lot of fun shooting that scene.
So on a little lighter note, you have a lot of fans out there. So I guess I have some sort of fast finger questions for you. What is your favorite album?
Miseducation, Lauryn Hill.
Miseducation of Lauryn Hill. All right. Last time you were in DC, where did you go eat?
I actually went out to the National Harbor. Oh, no. I went to Joe. What's the one downtown? The seafood, the steakhouse. Joe's? Is it Joe?
Joe's Seafood downtown.
Might have been that one. But also I headed out to the National Harbor too. Yeah.
I think there's a lot of folks out there want to know if you're single or taken.
I'm single at the moment. And that's all I'm gonna say about that.
And your last concert. Obviously it's COVID, but your last concert pre-COVID.
Sir, man. Actually, my last concert was John Batiste in New York, downtown. John Batiste, 11-time Grammy nominee. That's my boy. We went to school together. And his new album, We Are, we went to see him kill it. And he led like a second line outside. It was dope. It was great.
That is dope. Well, Corey Hawkins, congratulations on what is an amazing movie. I wish you much success. And that's all the time we have here on the Fowler Show. But you're always welcome back whenever you want, Corey.
Appreciate that, man. Good to see you, man.
Good to see you as well.